Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about good news, delivery drivers. Doordash CEO says Robotaxis aren't ready for delivery. So one of the topics on any sort of gig company that keeps coming up that all of us kind of roll our eyes at is the concept of robot-based delivery. Now, I know that there's a lot of talk about AI replacing things and robots replacing things, and that is valid, and I do agree that there does need to be a level of caution, and I will get into that in this video. But at the end of the day, delivery driving and this type of logistics, it's just not ready for that, realistically speaking. And it's not just me who's saying it anymore, it's the CEO of DoorDash, Tony Shu. So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Don't expect a Robotaxi to deliver your DoorDash order anytime soon. Autonomous cars are already shuttling riders around some US cities thanks to a partnership between Uber and Waymo, as well as Tesla's own Robotaxi offering. They function much like traditional ride-hailing trips. You request a ride through an app and then get in the car once it arrives. Yeah, that's not the same thing as a delivery. A robo-taxi is going to arrive at a location, you get in the vehicle, and it drives you to the general area of the location. At the end of the day, the customer goes up to the vehicle. But especially for contactless delivery, that's not the case. In fact, it's almost never the case. The robo-taxi cannot drive up to the general door, place the bag in front of the door, and then leave. Same thing goes for drones. Same thing goes for a lot of these autonomous delivery systems. It's just not enough there right now. I do believe it does have a place for smaller deliveries in terms of the drones, but I just don't think we're there yet. Using AVs to deliver restaurant food and other goods are robo-taxis. DoorDash CEO said on the company's earnings call on Wednesday. The passenger can walk in and out of the car even if the drop-off or pickup locations aren't perfect, Shu said. Deliveries, by contrast, require a more precise handoff between the restaurant and the vehicle, requiring companies like DoorDash to solve for the end-to-end system, he said. That's probably the single biggest learning we've had, Shu said on Wednesday. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, everything between the restaurant handing the food to the robo-taxi and the customer getting the order from the taxi is generally okay. Like, the car's gonna drive itself, and obviously it's not perfect, but the person making those corrections are, in the rideshare's case, is the person in the vehicle, not in the restaurant's case. And let's also remember that there are a lot of customers who place orders and forget they have deliveries. You're gonna force the robot to wait outside and hold up traffic while you go forget you had an order, while also going,
"Oh, I'm sorry, I was in the shower."
I guarantee you one of the things that's going to end up happening is that there's a timer that's going to start. It's going to be there for 5 minutes, and it's going to drive its ass right back to the restaurant, and the restaurant's going to go,
"Oh, what happened? I don't know what was going on. Oh, I didn't hear delivery.
Gross. In April, DoorDash said that it had started making some deliveries in Chicago and Los Angeles with wheeled robots that can navigate sidewalks, designed by startup Coco Robotics. DoorDash and Coco previously worked on a pilot program using the robots to make deliveries in Finland through Wolt, DoorDash's international arm. Shu added that DoorDash's experiments with autonomous delivery have gone great, and that autonomous delivery is something we're very excited about. But yeah, you're talking about two completely different locations. Chicago and LA are two of the most populated areas, and let's not forget, the population of Finland may be 5.637 million, but LA and Chicago match that, and in much more denser pockets. Riding an autonomous vehicle is already an option for some ride-hailing users. In June, Tesla launched a limited version of its robotaxi service in Austin, with Tesla safety employees in the passenger seat, and has since expanded to San Francisco with safety employees in the driver's seat. Uber offers autonomous rides in Waymos in Atlanta, and Austin has plans to add more self-driving vehicles to its network next year through a partnership with EV maker Lucid and self-driving technology startup Neuro. I mean, if you're gonna test it anywhere, go to the places that are super pro tech company, right? For DoorDash, the challenge is moving burgers, groceries, and other stuff stored to customers' homes. Many of those items can be delivered in smaller autonomous vehicles, Shu has said. You don't need a 4,000-pound vehicle to deliver a 1 or 2 pound item or a package, Shu said in an earnings call on Monday. But what's your alternative? Those little robots that keep getting run over and broken into? Like, that's pretty much the only difference. Yeah, I think that you can definitely go with a smaller vehicle, but smaller robots actually can be damaged more, especially if they're on sidewalks with people that actually might end up having problems. Not to mention, those robots also don't actually acknowledge what's around them. The fact that they drive right through crime scenes, they go right down the stairs, and whenever they end up getting into a car accident, they literally scream. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you paying me. There you go. I do believe there is a point to making sure you are protected financially. In terms of autonomous delivery, I'm not too concerned about it, at least at its current stages. Right now, there's just too much going on in the current landscape of delivery that I'm not all that concerned about. Like, the robots are just not there yet. The only thing I would see the robots actually being really there for is taking the no-tip customers and making them take longer. Not to mention, it would take 45 minutes to do what a driver can do in 15. However, if there are things I would say a driver needs to be concerned about, they do need to make sure they have a diversified gig portfolio. They need to make sure they have an exit strategy, because the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal, not simply the goal, and invest their money into other cash-producing assets so that way they're never really dependent on just their active income. And one of the ways that you can develop an exit strategy is by building your own delivery service provider, so that way drivers can actually be paid for what they're worth and not actually be in threat of potentially being replaced by robots that aren't there yet. Or maybe you're the kind of entrepreneur that actually would like to have their own delivery service provider and invest into these robots. And the way you could build your own delivery service provider is through the course that I have in the description. I have partnered with high-level professionals to create a step-by-step guide to teach you to create a six-figure earning business in as little as 90 days. The course will guide you to get your own business entity and foundation, methods to source restaurants and drivers with game-changing opportunities, top-of-the-line seamless technology for drivers and merchants, and you'll have access to resources and done-for-you contracts to protect you financially. You will also access the high-level professional guidance to help you build your business foundation and support you as you grow your business to reach greater heights. Check the link in the description and get started with making the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the safest possible way, and transforming how businesses serve customers and how gig workers get greater opportunities with you. We are excited and looking forward to helping you secure your financial future. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.